because most into art. So interpreting is the ground of ethics or meta-ethics. And then they use a easy example to show that when you look at one person, if you have the time to look, and if you have some mindfulness and concentration, you can see the suffering in him or in her. And if you continue to look, you see that person continues to suffer because he is not capable, he does not know how to handle the suffering. He does not know how to suffer and to handle the suffering in him. That is why he continues to be the victim of his own suffering. So far, no one has helped him to handle the suffering in him and transform it. That is why he continues to suffer. And as he suffers, he makes the people around him suffer, including you. Maybe he does not want to make you suffer, but because he does not know how to handle the suffering in him, that is why his suffering is spilling all over, and you become the second victim of his suffering. And when you see that and you understand that, suddenly you are no longer angry at him. You don't want to
keep that back straight when you're doing it. Good form.
Instead, you want to say something or to do something to
Weights do help with balance.
It means that you have compassion in your heart, born from understanding suffering. So compassion is something that is born from suffering, from understanding suffering.
We got our training for Comrades.
Easy enough.
Comrades Ultra Marathon.
Compassion is born from understanding. And understanding of what? Understanding of suffering. When you know how to look into suffering, then you have the time. You are so maybe you can look at it. Especially when you are so busy making money, you do not have the time in order to look at the suffering and listen to the suffering and embrace the suffering. And the energy that can help you to look at the suffering,
It's nice and
listen
easy.
to suffering,
Get a good pace, keep going.
is called mindfulness. Mindfulness of suffering, mindfulness of listening to suffering, mindfulness of embracing suffering.
Work the arms too.
So, listening to suffering, embracing suffering, bring about understanding of suffering. And when understanding of suffering is there, compassion is born.
I'm going to mix it up a little bit
That is the
so
mechanism
that I keep remembering how many I'm doing.
of compassion. And the whole audience
Once you
understands
get a little bit of a
because it's
rhythm,
easy.
you'll see it. You kind of get an idea.
And that is why between compassion
So now I know I've done 20, this is my last set of 10. You can sometimes forget. I always do.
and that is why in a place where there is no suffering, there is no compassion either. And as we know that the kingdom of God has love and compassion, we know also that suffering is there.
Alright. Got our 30.
Like
We got the diamonds.
in a place where there are lotus flowers, you know that.
Do 3. 3 after 3 down.
It was so clear that without but no lotus
Try to keep the arms up high.
That is,
And don't resist the pain.
that is the key point. So I spent a few minutes talking about the interview between suffering and love and compassion. And I said that
So what you get here
if you know
is
how
trying
to
to keep the
suffer,
arms up. You want to keep your arms shoulder height.
you suffer
Don't let them
much.
hang down like that.
And you
It's
know
also the
how
shoulder
to
workout while you're
use
doing it.
suffering in order to create understanding and compassion. And
Nice
these
rhythm.
are two elements. The foundation of true happiness. Because a person who does not have understanding and compassion, that person cannot be happy at all. So happiness is born from suffering. But you don't have to go and look for suffering because there is enough of suffering here and now. So you can make good use of suffering. And that's why you have to learn the Dharma. The Dharma tells us how to suffer, how to understand suffering,
Let's do talk about
and
suffering.
how to
Like
generate compassion.
slowly let them
You don't
down.
have to be
Don't just drop the weight so quickly. Go slow.
a happy person.
Training your body not to think it's so
person with
bad.
compassion cannot be a happy person. A person
Let's do
without
our diamonds.
understanding and compassion is utterly rude, and she can relate to any other human being.
Try to chest to the ground.
And corporate leaders who are very rich, very wealthy, can be very rude, even if they have a lot of money. But if they do not have enough compassion, they don't have compassion, and then they are utterly lonely. Money cannot
Finish one whole round, 5.5
happiness
minutes.
is based on compassion, of love, and understanding.
Grab some water and
So I took
off to round 2.
time to explain like that. And that is the first thing that is shocking for the audience.
Really try
The
to keep that
second
back
thing
straight.
that is shocking is that they said that
You're just bringing your
compassion
butt back.
should be directed to
You should feel it in your
yourself.
hamstring.
But if you don't know how to be compassionate to yourself, it's very difficult to be compassionate to another person.
It's a good core.
That's why you have to listen to your own suffering first.
One to have one with you.
Your suffering carries within itself the suffering of your father, your mother, your ancestors. And if you understand your own suffering, you understand the suffering of your fathers. And you are not angry at your father anymore.
Good hold. Training for Comrades,
So understanding
90K,
the suffering of oneself is
56
very
miles, just trying to get it going so that you kind of become like a machine.
To be with
Don't need to go
your
so
suffering.
heavy. Just need to get it so that I can do
Have the
this
time to listen
a
to your
gazillion
own
times.
suffering.
Do the
To
side
have
view.
the time to embrace your suffering tenderly is what we should do in the beginning. But people in our society, they don't like to do that. They don't think that it is a pleasant thing to do. They don't want to go home to themselves and get in touch with the suffering inside because they are afraid that they will overwhelmed by the suffering inside. That is why most
Yeah, it's
people
good to
try
keep going.
to run away from outside from
I feel like
themselves.
you just keep moving. You're going to burn the calories. You're training the body, you're reprogramming it.
Electronic games, conversations, magazine, books,
Good for
food
balance.
in order to get
Especially on one leg.
the suffering.
Balance is kind of critical.
And that
It's always
is
good to
one
have
of
your core. You're going to work the core the whole time.
characteristics of our civilization.
Another thing that I forgot to do last time, we'll add it in.
From outside.
Later on will be some more.
But according
Bit
to
of
the
the abs.
teaching of the Buddha,
Alright.
If you know how to practice mindfulness, of breathing mindfulness, of sitting mindfulness, of walking mindfulness, of your action, your speech, and your thinking. And then you are equipped with that kind of energy, and then you can go home to yourself without fear, in order to listen to your own suffering, to embrace your suffering, and finally to understand.
Just keep on going.
When you
Don't
understand
stop.
suffering, compassion is born in you.
You don't have to go fast, you have to go too slow. Just
Now
It's
you
easy
can have
pace.
your partner, your father, your son, your daughter.
just like a
When
long
you
run.
have understood your own suffering, it's much easier to understand the suffering of the other person. And when you understand his or her suffering, you are no longer angry at him or her. Compassion is rising, and you want to do something to help the other person suffer less. That is compassion in action. And you can do that for other people also, after you have been able to do it for him, for her, the nearest person.
It's really good for the glutes.
And that is second
Because you want to jump your
audience.
buttocks.
Compassion has to be directed to yourself. Because most of people know that compassion is for another person. And the third thing I told you is that as a community, you can generate a collective energy of compassion. That can be
Focus on
very
compassion. Listen to our compassion video
as one
by a man who
of course,
was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by
but if
Dr.
you have
Martin
300
King
people, 700 people, 1,000 people sitting
back in the
together,
60s.
breathing together, generating the energy of understanding of suffering and compassion, understanding and compassion, and then the collective energy of compassion can be very healing for everyone who happen to be there in that zone of energy. So Thầy show them that compassion is not an individual kind of energy, but it can be collective.
Yeah, you want to keep things going.
And when
You're gonna
the energy of compassion is collective,
Keep a good
it
pace.
is much more powerful, and it can help.
don't think about it too much. Don't focus on the misery of pain. Focus on
So I
releasing it.
propose very concrete things like in the hospital.
And you release it by not indulging
If all
it.
the doctors and nurses and employees know
Don't
how
have to
to
get
practice
anything
mindful breathing
So bad. You don't resist
and
it.
getting in touch with the suffering inside of
It's not so
them
bad.
and around them, that will create a very
Your body kind of
powerful
gets used to
energy
the
of
adapts. It
compassion
knows.
and help
And
patients
it just doesn't hurt that
who come to the
bad.
hospital to heal much more frequently. It seems to be something very new for them. And I also propose that the people in that organization, teachers, students, and researchers, employees, all practice mindful breathing, mindfulness of compassion, of suffering, in order to generate compassion.
Gonna be good sweat, man.
And you should teach
Get our diamonds going.
by yourself, by
Let's try to
by
do
the
20
word
each
life,
time.
and not just by giving a talk in a classroom. Doing research
10.
and talking about suffering to the students, you have to embody compassion,
1. Ooh, let's try something
and
else
that people
too.
will believe in the power.
We're gonna stay on all fours. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Try to hold it for a second or so,
We had
just to make sure
we
you
had
keep your balance.
answered quite a number of questions, but there are many questions that are left unanswered. This is one of the question that is written. Research has also shown that
Keep making little adjustments.
extra
Become aware of your body.
health benefits. Not only does it reduce inflammation at the cellular level, but it also appears to be associated with a longer, healthier, and happier life. And that is what the researchers found out. If you have compassion, you live a longer life. And compassion can heal you, can heal things like inflammation in yourself.
Water?
From your perspective as a teacher, have you noticed this impact on compassion, on health and biology? And why do you think that happened? And you can say like this.
We're doing reps, we're not doing weight.
In your heart.
So we're trying to really
You are no longer angry.
prepare our muscles
Because compassion is an
for the daily grind.
For anger. And without anger, you are more relaxed. You are more pleasant. You are more peaceful. And that will facilitate the healing. And when you do not have anger, you can communicate with yourself much more easily. You can understand yourself much more easily, and you can communicate with the other person more easily, and you can restore communication, and you can
Let's keep on going.
with him. Anger blocks communication, and that's why when you are able to generate compassion, you transform anger, and then you restore communication. And if communication is restored, everything is possible again. And compassion is the kind of energy that motivates you
Feel it actually.
to do something to help people
You really actually feel it in your
who
glutes.
suffer.
Body loves it. Likes it a lot.
That gives you an ideal, that gives you a meaning
Like a
to your life.
like a warm, easy feeling. Kind of
That's
loosening
why
up.
you live long and so on.
And burpees.
And so, compassion not only helps you, but that
Nice,
is
easy pace.
energy that can protect you better than any means and so on. If you have compassion in yourself, in your heart, and then that energy of compassion will protect you from many kinds of dangers. Even
Get in rhythm. It's all nice and easy.
violent people.
You don't have to think about it. Be off in Never Neverland.
And you don't react in fear, in anger, and that is why you draw much less danger to yourself. If you are angry, you make the people fearful of yourself, of you. And if they are fearful, they will attack you, being afraid that you will kill them or attack them first. That is why compassion protects you and also protects the other person. And in the Buddhist teaching, the Buddha taught that
Just keep it on going.
if you can
Might be sore at first, but
produce compassion
you'll get better.
and prevent
Or if you mess up,
fight
Just keep moving, keep going forward. Show must go on.
Moving for most people, moving for him and the same. That is a real victory. The governor
Should we talk about
before he became a monk.
What about the body weightless?
He was very afraid.
Just go from the body.
He did not sleep well.
Get everything moving, do multiple things at once.
Ready
It's a bit of a cross-train exercise.
to go into his balance in order to
Yeah.
steal his wealth and peace. So even he was protected by many soldiers, he was always very afraid during the night. He is afraid that someone will go into the castle and
Yeah, you're kind of switching things up.
all his valuables.
Even though it may not be the longest, the most intense workout. Building up a good sweat. Loosen the body up, especially for training and doing a lot of runs in the week. And you got a full load. Just nice to warm the body up, do something. It's maintenance. That's all it is maintenance. It doesn't take much. 30 minutes, 25 minutes. It's not that much. And you feel great afterwards. Try not to ignore the burn. Just keep going, don't even think about it. It is what it is. 3, just 2, I think. Not so bad. Keep those shoulders up, keep those arms high. Nice and easy down. Always nice and easy down. You're kind of almost a trick of the body, but you're convincing it's not so bad. Back to our guns. Second, third round. Ten. Got 10 of these. It's hard to do these in with the camera. Get better at that. Shoulders are one of the most key muscles in the upper body. So you want to always work those guys out. Let's keep it going. About 22 in. Let's do this one more. Go. Try not to use that left foot. Just keep a nice easy motion. Keep that back right. A lot of stabilizer muscles. And 15. Remember, it's okay if you mess up on like a rep or two. It's a long haul, it doesn't mean much at the end of the day. It's not going to make a difference in the span of all your workouts. But good form will save your body. You start to hurt otherwise. You start to feel pain. You don't need to feel it. Teach what they can. Really feeling this in this area, right up in here. Then we got runs tomorrow. So get this stuff going. 96 miles eventually, so let's just make sure we finish, especially with a hip surgery that we had back in 2019. Your burpees. Keep it going, don't stop. It's okay to take a break, but just try to maintain. That's all we're doing is maintenance. And 10. Let's go right into our lunges. We'll figure it out. It just comes. There we go. Now back in 2019, I had to get arthroscopic surgery on my right hip because I had a growth on the bone on the femur on either side, and it was scratching or tearing the labrum. So I had to go in, file down the femur on each side, and then put in 3 little anchors and sew the labrum to it. And I made a full recovery, doing everything I once used to do without losing anything. At least so, I think. But I don't know if I lost a step because of that or because of my advanced age. But almost. All right. You know what? I'll just go one more time just for fun. That's why it's good to have switched up a little bit so you don't make that mistake. But hey, extra reps aren't going to hurt. Not a big deal.